Snow is melting fast. Morning, folks. Today is Wednesday. We just got back from Hamilton. Had to go up there for another dock appointment. It turned out fine. But today they're barrel racing here in just a little bit. Or not barrel racing, roping. They're barrel racing this weekend. Filling up the water truck. Anyway, get this done, and then Hillbilly talked a little bit about the troubles that Oregon is having with trying to ban hunting, fishing, trapping, basically ranching, slaughterhouses, all that stuff. They don't even want pet stores with dogs in them. So anyway, get this done and let's talk about that a little bit. So, have you heard about what is going on in Oregon? They have a bill that they're getting signatures for right now. It's called Initiative Petition 28. It's called the Peace Act. People for Elimination of Animal Cruelty Exemptions. So, what this bill would do is basically make it a crime to hunt, fish, trap, farm. You wouldn't be able to use chicken eggs. Pretty much anything to do with an animal of any kind. A fish, a bird, a cow, they are crazy people. I mean, what do they think people are going to eat? In the wintertime, there's just not enough vegetables. I mean, you can import them from somewhere else, but I don't want to be a vegetarian. I don't know a whole lot of people that do. My brother, he's one, and his wife, but most folks I know eat meat, and that would be illegal. Not to eat it, but to raise it, to have a slaughterhouse, to butcher a chicken, to catch a fish and fry it up in a pan. All those things would be illegal according to this bill. And if you live in Oregon, I mean, don't get me wrong, we lived there too. I lived in Oregon from 1980 to 1984. I went to high school there, and we lived out of town. It wasn't terribly far from Corvallis, Oregon, which was that's the west side where all the problems are coming from, basically. Not just Corvallis, but that whole east or west side. But we lived by a little town called Philomath, but we weren't even in that either. We were up out of town by, I don't know how many miles, been too long ago, but little place called Beaver Creek, and it was nice. I could walk right out my back door. In fact, I could hunt. My dad had bought 20 acres of farm ground. It had Christmas trees on it, and I could hunt rabbits and deer and even elk right out of the house, just right out the back door. I could go on foot and start out hunting. And it was really nice. It was a nice place. But then in 1980, right after he bought it, he ended up getting cancer and he didn't make it. So we stayed there a few more years, and then Mom sold the place. But anyway, Oregon is a beautiful place. The weather is basically pretty nice. It rains there quite a bit, but the winters are mild. The summers aren't horribly hot generally. It was a good place, but it's full of crazy people now. I'll let this thing read it to you, because it's better at it than I am. But listen to this here.
For generations, the legal landscape surrounding outdoor sports commercial harvesting, and agricultural production has relied on a foundational set of statutory exemptions. Across the United States, traditional activities like harvesting a game animal, catching a fish, or processing livestock are explicitly shielded from criminal animal cruelty prosecution. They are, after all, a way of life for many families and how they put food on the table. But in one corner of the Pacific Northwest, a relentless legislative push is on the verge of completely flipping those centuries-old legal protections upside down. Oregon is currently tracking dangerously close to placing a historic, highly controversial ballot measure before voters this November that would effectively ban all forms of hunting, fishing, and animal agriculture statewide. Known formally as Initiative Petition 28 and dubbed by its coordinators as the Peace Act, People for the Elimination of Animal Cruelty Exemptions, the sweeping measure just passed a critical operational milestone. On Friday, animal rights organizers officially submitted more than 126,000 signatures to the Oregon Secretary of State's office, comfortably surpassing the baseline requirement of 117,173 valid signatures needed to qualify for the upcoming general election ballot, stripping away the exemptions. Under current Oregon state law, ORS 167.315 to 167.333, licensed sports like hunting, angling, and trapping, alongside standard farming practices and scientific research, are completely exempt from criminal animal abuse charges. Initiative Petition 28 aims to strip those legal exemptions away entirely. By eliminating the baseline protections, the measure would redefine the legal definition of animal abuse to include any intentional act that injures, breeds, or kills an animal, except in narrow instances of direct self-defense or localized veterinary care. If passed by voters, the immediate ramifications would be unprecedented. Hunting and fishing. Every single form of licensed sport or commercial hunting and fishing would be classified as a criminal offense under state law. Farming and ranching, raising livestock for meat, dairy, eggs, or fiber would constitute criminal animal abuse. Effectively dismantling the state's agriculture sector, tribal rights. The sweeping language contains no carve-outs for Oregon's 9 federally recognized Native American tribes, putting treaty-protected hunting and fishing rights in. Immediate legal jeopardy. According to campaign materials published by the initiative's organizers, the goal is to codify animals' right to life and bodily autonomy in law. However, the Oregon Department of Fish and Wildlife estimates that hunting and fishing generate over $1.9 billion annually in economic activity for local communities. To boot, state conservation, habitat restoration, and wildlife management programs are funded almost entirely through the sale of hunting and fishing licenses, revenue that would vanish overnight. Major advocacy coalitions, including the Oregon Hunters Association, the Oregon Farm Bureau, and the Sportsmen's Alliance, are heavily mobilizing resources ahead of the summer deadline. The Oregon Farm Bureau warned that the passage of IP 28 would turn Oregon into a no-kill or harm sanctuary state, forcing residents to either adopt a completely vegan lifestyle or rely strictly on food shipped in from other states and countries, drastically inflating household grocery costs. What happens next? While proponents have officially cleared the numeric threshold, the battle isn't entirely over just yet. The Oregon Secretary of State's office is currently conducting statistical sampling procedures to verify that the signatures submitted are valid and do not contain duplicate or unregistered voters. Because a portion of signatures are routinely rejected during the verification process, petitioners are continuing to circulate clipboards until the final, absolute deadline on July 2nd, 2026. If the state formally certifies the petition after that date, Oregonians will officially head to the ballot boxes on November 3rd to decide the future of outdoor sports and agriculture in the West.
It's not going to pass. I mean, there's too much money riding on it. But the fact that it has gotten that far is really pretty frightening. How many signatures did they say? It's a lot. Let's see. You you got hunting, fishing, trapping, all those things. I can understand. Okay, yeah, 117,173 valid signatures needed, but I guess they've got more than that. So that's hard to imagine that there's that many stupid people. I mean, yeah, you might not want to eat that stuff, but what about the economy? You know, you got so much writing on that. There's entire towns along the coast that are, ocean fishing communities. And that's big. That's a lot of money right there. You got cattle ranches. That's a lot of money right there. You got chicken farms. You got, I mean, just countless things and things that you don't really think about too. You know, the sporting goods stores that are selling them bullets and fishing gear and all that stuff. The you know, leather, the byproducts. At 1 year at the fair, our town here is a cattle ranching community mainly. There's a little bit of logging now that for a lot of years that was closed down. But, when you think of Idaho, people think of potatoes. And there's only one guy that I know of that was raising potatoes here, and I don't think he's doing it anymore. This is mostly a cattle ranch area or hay farms. You know, we don't raise things like, well, potatoes, and we don't have corn fields. We don't have, grain orchards. I mean, people have small orchards, but there's no commercial ones, that kind of thing. It's mainly animals, and animal feed. We do raise some alfalfa and things and cut and bale that and sell that. But a town like this, it would it would dry up and blow away if they passed that here, And Oregon's the same way. There's a lot of money riding on this, and a lot of people's jobs. And if those people are put out of work, they're either going to have to leave that state to find work somewhere else, or they're going to have to find jobs doing something else. There just aren't that many of them, and so it's not going to pass. But like I said, the fact that they got that many people to vote on it is amazing. 1 year during the fair, there was a list of cattle byproducts, and some of them I was really surprised. Linoleum was one of them, probably from the hooves, I'm guessing. Gelatin, of course, that's a hoof and animal byproduct. They glue, you always think of old horses going off for glue and whatever. Well, they do that with cattle hooves and things too. Sheetrock is gypsum and crushed cattle bones. There's tons of stuff. Photographic film. This was back before the digital stuff really got going. But the photographic film is an animal byproduct of cattle, which I was surprised to find. In fact, I'm going to look in here real quick and see if I can't find the list and read it to you if I can find it. It's pretty interesting. Okay, here we go. So, woohoo! Yeah. Says here, man, I'm not so sure I can see better without them. It says cattle byproducts include a wide range of edible and non-edible products derived from parts of the cow beyond meat and milk used in food, industrial, pharmaceutical, and household applications. Common cattle byproducts and their uses: leather made from cowhides used as footwear, belts, bags, upholstery, and clothing. Gelatin extracted from bones, skin, and connective tissues used in food. Marshmallows. Who would have thought cattle made marshmallows? Marshmallows, gummies, jellies, pharmaceuticals, capsules. The little container that stuff's in. Cosmetics and photographic film from gelatin. That surprises me. I never would have thought that a cow was in a photograph, other than taking a picture of it, of course. Tallow, rendered fat used in soap, candles, lubricants, biodiesel, lipsticks, and banknotes. Bone meal, ground bones used as fertilizer, rich in phosphorus and calcium. Plasma protein, derived from blood, used in pet foods, livestock feeds, and processed foods. Dairy byproducts, whey, butter, and cream are used in nutritional supplements. In nutritional supplements, processed foods, and emulsifiers or thickeners. Fatty acids and glycerol probably, from animal fat used in soap, detergents, herbicides, paints, lubricants, and antifreeze. Who would have thought of antifreeze for the byproduct of a cow? Horns and hooves used in glue, gelatin, buttons, and decorative items. Organs and offal, liver, kidneys, heart, and other organs are used in pet foods, dietary supplements, and specialty foods. Miscellaneous industrial products include items like crayons, floor wax, shoe polish, linoleum, adhesives, emery boards, piano keys, and artist brushes. Pharmaceuticals and cosmetics include collagen, stearic acid, and other derivatives are used in ointments and shaving creams, perfumes, and deodorants. So it takes a dead cow and make you smell better. Biofuels and renewable energy, tallow and other fats are processed into biodiesel and industrial lubricants. Household items are candles, soaps, detergents, and polishes often contain cattle-derived ingredients. Food additives, gelatin, rennet, I'm not sure what that is, and other proteins are used in jellies, yogurts, cheeses, and confectionery. Cattle byproducts demonstrate the comprehensive utilization of the animal, with up to 99% of a cow being used in some form, supporting sustainability and economic efficiency across multiple industries. These byproducts are essential for modern agriculture, manufacturing, and consumer goods, highlighting the importance of holistic livestock management. So, talking about towns kind of depending on fishing. What about the town of Tillamook? My mom lives over close to there, and that's Tillamook cheese. I mean, that would go under. That whole town would be in trouble. Tillamook is a cheese area, but it's also fishing and that kind of stuff too. Like I say, it can't pass. It's just too extreme. But the fact that they got that many signatures makes you wonder. Now, if you live in California, California too, California, Oregon, or Washington, if you live in any of those three states, have a talk with some of these people that are that way. I mean, the whole name of this, the Peace Act or whatever, that's supposed to be preventing animal cruelty, that sounds great on the surface until you realize what it is they want to do. I mean, nobody's for animal abuse unless you're a nut anyway. But, man, it's hard to imagine. Really hard to imagine. Then again, I grew up hunting and fishing and trapping and eating meat, working cattle ranches, that kind of thing. It's hard to imagine any other way of life for me, but I don't know. That's one thing that makes some folks mad probably, but somebody pointed out the differences between liberals and conservatives. And they said that if a conservative doesn't like something, they just don't do it. They don't care if you do, they just don't do it. A liberal, if they don't do something, they don't do it, but they don't want you to do it either. And they do their very best to make sure that you can't do it. So, I don't know. It's a crazy, crazy, crazy world. Have a good day. I'm going to finish my little splash of whiskey and see if Cindy's got any steak in the freezer. Bye.